Hey everyone. Okay, so I'm gonna move through this de-fuzzing warm-up sequence. If you've been coming to the Yoga Nidra classes, you are probably already familiar with this sequence or some elements of it. I just wanted to record it for you so that you can play it back anytime. This is designed to stimulate the joints and the glands of the body. I pull in two different elements, and the first one being what I learned from Rod Stryker of the HAR Yoga Nidra school, and he is a student of Swami Rama. And the other element I've brought in is a bit of Qigong, and I won't go into either of those too much in depth right now, but just know that this sequence is something you can do before you want to practice at home. It's also nice to do if you just haven't done any sort of movement during the day yet. If you take a 10 or 15-minute break from the workday, or if you want to do this at night before bedtime. You can do this also right when you wake up. I would just suggest that you give yourself 30 minutes after waking up before you move through the spine. So you can do anything else in the sequence with the exclusion of the spinal movements. So we start on our feet. So come to your feet. And it's going to seem really simple, and we're going to move a little bit quickly at times, but just go with it. So to begin, you just take the arms and start swinging them forward and back. And I'm just going to give you a side view here, so you can bend the knees slightly just so that the soles of the feet are nice and rooted, and you're just sinking down, sinking all the body weight down into the feet. So buoyant through the legs, and the arms just swing forward and back. And then you can tune into the breath as it is and just start to breathe in and out through the nose. So just try to keep this breath in and out through the nose as we continue to move. And now from here, all you're going to do is bend the elbows. So every other swing, you're bending at the elbows, and you're just kind of letting the momentum of the movement take you. You don't have to control or direct it too much. We're going to keep working with the upper body here, so then we can start to just slow this down. And you're just going to start to cross one arm over the other. So alternating which arm crosses over the other, and then I like to just naturally sway side to side through the hips as I do this. And you can take these as big as you want. So as you start to get a little bit more warm, you can let the arms come really far behind you. You can do any of these for up to a minute or longer, depending on what you want. And then you can start to bring it down. And then we're going to get into some of the front of the chest. So you can let the arms come to stillness. And then from here, you're going to interlace the fingers of your hands so they're resting in front of the hips. And as we breathe in, you're going to flip the palms away. And as you exhale, bending at the elbows, letting the elbows drop to the ground, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Okay, so interlace the fingers, breathe in, flip up. And exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades, elbows draw down the back. So a couple like this. Good. And from here, we'll do something called spinal cord breathing. So it's similar with the arms. You'll take the forearms to touch, making fists. And it's a similar thing. So as you breathe in, you're expanding up and away. So the shoulders, elbows are reaching back behind me. And as you exhale, you're going to tuck the chin all the way down to the chest And then roll it forward, and you can take a soft bend in the knees here to support the lower back a little bit. Inhale, press through the heels, expand up and away. And then exhale, tuck the chin down to the chest, soft bend through the knees, contract into a tiny little ball. And then inhale up. You can gaze up toward the ceiling, exhale, gaze down toward the navel. 2 more like this. And last one. Good. Then you can just come up to a stand, arms by the sides. Before we take a pause just to sense and feel, we're going to do this Qigong style knocking on our back. So to start, you can just sway the arms side to side. And again, you'll find maybe a natural sway through the hips as well. And what we're going to do is knock the back hand on the lower back as if we're knocking on the kidney. So right at the last minute, you're going to activate that back arm just to lightly tap back of the hand onto the lower back around the kidneys. And then you'll notice that opposite foot naturally just lifts onto the toes, heel lifts off the ground. And you can keep the head tracking over the body, so you don't have to stare at the screen. You can let the head move with the torso. So this is called knocking on the gate of life in Qigong. They connect the organs to the emotions, to the elements, to the seasons in the 5-element theory. And they say that the kidneys, which support the metabolism of our fluids and detoxing the body, that they are this home or this storage house of generative energy, what is known as Jing energy. So this isn't qi necessarily. It's the energy that dictates the longevity of our life. So when we stimulate our kidneys, we're stimulating and supporting all other organs. And now from here, we're going to bring it up to the top of where the lung channel begins. So instead of knocking on the back, you're going to bring one arm to now knock as a fist on the upper shoulder, just right around the collarbone area. And then continue like that. So that backhand can still be giving the kidneys some love. Nice, solid knocking on the body. And then from here, we're going to bring it up over the shoulder now. So as if you're cupping the shoulder with that front hand. So you can see my hand is just making a little cup. So now we're stimulating the tissues of the shoulders and the neck. If you have some stiffness here, you can give yourself a lot of love, a little extra pat. Good. And then we'll bring it back to the knocking. So we're just going to bring it down the body, knocking on the upper chest. And then back to the gate of life, lower back. And then from here, we're going to take a moment to sense and feel. Actually, no, I misspoke. We take it a little bit slower before we do the sensing and the feeling. So now we're going to just bring this arm motion away from the body and slow it down. And this is called waterways. I'm not sure if it's an official term, but you're now imagining that you're dragging the fingers through water. And this is all we're doing, so you can close the eyes and just tune in. Nice and slow, controlled breath. Feel the breath slowing down. Then notice the pace that you're currently at and see if you can bring it even slower. Good. And then from here, we're going to bring it to a stand still, so you can slowly bring the motion to a still point. You can walk the feet closer together. And we just place one hand over the lower abdomen, lower dantian, the other hand on top of that. Comfortable stance through the feet, soft bend through the knees. Take an inhale as you lift the shoulders up toward the ears, and then exhale. Let it melt down. Close the eyes. And the hands are now in contact with what is called the elixir field, the storehouse of our chi, our vital life force. So the places we just stimulated energetically, we're now placing that in this storehouse as if this was your reserve for life energy. And connect to that space. Last breath here. Good. And then letting the arms rest by the sides. I usually do the half neck circles on all fours, but I think it's easier to show standing up. So you're going to take your hands, palms together, and just resting them along the sacrum, lower back, so the elbows can go out to the side. And we're just doing half neck circles. We're not going to do a full circle. The facets of the vertebrae are not meant to move in such a direction. This is not a ball and socket joint, so we're just going to go kind of sweeping left to right. So you can drop the chin down toward the chest, all the way down, feel through the back of the neck. And then from here, you're going to glide the chin as if you're drawing a line across the right collarbone and bringing the chin toward the right shoulder. And then you can drop the right ear toward the shoulder. Wait for the next, wait for the next exhale. And then drop the chin down, over, across the center, across the other collarbone, and then slowly turn left ear to match left shoulder. And you hold for a breath and a half until you find that next exhale and it glides you back down and over. So you can hold on each side as long as you wish. This is just a preview of the motion. You don't have to follow along exactly as I do it. You're just noticing what you notice. Right side, left side, and the back side. Shoulders are soft down the back. We'll do one more sweep. Good. And then the next time the chin reaches or is meeting the chest, take a breath in through the upper chest. So filling up upper chest as you breathe in. Exhale the sigh out the mouth as you release the arms down by the sides. And the last bit that we do is on hands and knees. So you can come onto all fours. And you're going to see me moving left to right just to show both sides, but you can stay exactly as you are. So I'll show it from the front just to start. We're going to start with the left leg. So left knee, and if this isn't comfortable for the knees already, place an extra mat or a folded blanket here to cushion the knees. And if this isn't still helping, then just skip this one, okay? You don't have to do any painful things in the body before Yoga Nidra. So you're going to take the left knee straight out into the air. I'll give you the side view now. And then you're going to just choose what direction you start in, but you're going to make a circle with the knee, and the foot is soft, the toes are soft. You don't have to flex or point, but you're just making circles with the knee. And this might speed up the breath, but try to just keep it controlled and slow and steady. We'll do one more here. And then replant the knee, sway the hips side to side. And you'll stay as you are. I'm just switching sides. So now you'll take the opposite leg out to the side. And then choose the direction that you started on this side. We are going to switch the direction after this. So the lower leg is heavy and weightless, and you're just imagining that you're painting a circle through the front of the knee. And then when we switch to the other side, we're going to bring more awareness into that hip socket. So you can plant the knee now again, sway left and right. And then we're switching legs again. And this time you're going to take it in the opposite direction of what you went. So if you were out and then back, you're now going to bring it in, down, back, and out. Doesn't have to be technical. It's just as long as you're doing the circles, you're fine. So now you're going to start to pay attention. Keep going. I'm just going to explain something. The hip socket, so where the thigh bone comes into that bowl-like shape of the pelvis, this ball and socket joint, bring your awareness into this place. See if you can notice any stimulation or sensation through the hip socket. Last one here. And then replant that knee nice and soft. Sway the hips side to side. And then we just have one more round on the last side. So finding that opposite direction of the circle. And then again, you can close the eyes and start to tune into the hip socket on this side. So just stimulating the cells that live here in the hip socket. Keeping the joints lubricated. In any way in Yoga Nidra, if you're doing a body scan, this is a nice preparatory exercise for you to really tune into the joints of the body, as you will bring your awareness into these places during your practice. We'll do one more round. Good. Replant the knee, last little sway side to side. And then from here, you have the option of taking a toe squat. So you'd be tucking the toes under, sitting on the heels. And again, knee issues, you're going to skip this one. You can, however, place a block or a thick book on the backs of the heels and then rest on that block. And what that does is alleviate a lot of the pressure on the knees. There is no trick to alleviating the pressure in the feet other than to do this exact exercise more often. So this is just a minute-long meditation. So you're sitting softly on the knees or on the heels, and the hands can rest on the thighs. And if you need to take a break, which is perfectly normal if you're newer to this stretch through the feet, you'll just plant the palms and lean forward to take a breath or two, and then walk yourself back in. So from this point, we'll have a minute. And if the sensation is intense through the feet, just welcome it as a signal or as an opportunity to invite more opening, more space into your feet. This is nice, healthy compression of the ankle joint as well. This is a nice way to aid or improve our balance, as we tend to lose balance over time as we age and become older. And you can trick the body by inviting even in a small smile. Breath is soft, shoulders are soft. 3 breaths here. And you can open the eyes. And we slowly come out of this one, so leaning on to the hands, untucking the toes, giving them a little squeeze. It can be nice to just tap the toes lightly on the ground. And then this last bit is the spinal flow. So again, if you're just waking up, give yourself half an hour before moving through the spine. But it's a simple flossing of the spine. So you're going to come into your cow, so dropping the belly down toward the ground, gaze goes up toward the ceiling. And then just flow it into cat, just to get a feel for the 2 motions. So now you're pressing the palms away and creating an arc, as much of an arc as you can through the upper back. And the chin drops down to the chest. Good, and then next breath, flow it through into cow, gaze up, pelvis tilts forward as if your pelvis were a bowl and you're tipping it forward. And then once more, exhale into cat. And the next time we flow into cow is where we'll start this little choreography for spinal flossing. So I got this one from Bernie Clark. And all you do is, as you keep the gaze up, you shift the hips back toward the heels, and eventually the head will fall to the ground. And you can take a breath here and then roll back to come into that cat-like back. Chin to the chest now, and then you roll forward as far as is comfortable. And once you get to that, furthest you can go is when you switch back into your cow and gaze up, shift back, forehead to the floor. Next time you breathe in, find that angry cat-like back, chin to the chest, and the hips shift forward. And we'll do one more. Exhale, gaze up, hips to the heels. And just to be even, we'll end with the cat. So chin toward the chest as you shift the hips forward and down. And then find that neutral tabletop and come into a child's pose. So the knees can be closer together, the knees can be wider apart. Let the hands rest by the feet. And you can rest here for as long as you'd like, as long as you need. You can even give yourself a little massage by just rocking side to side over the thighs, or rolling the head left and right. But this is the end of our de-fuzzing warm-up. So you can do any combination of these before you lay down for your Yoga Nidra practice. And that is all for me today. Thank you.